you guys. Hey, you guys. I'll just wait till a couple of people come in. Make sure you all are sharing Instagram. I hope you are on here. We are going to have a great episode. I'm not pulling people in yet. I'm trying to get Facebook situated. So, everybody that is on my Facebook right now, please share, share, share. I do see it's public. So, make sure you guys are sharing. Also on Instagram, make sure you guys are watching. Hey, T. And I can't see you guys. I'm not going to be able to see everybody on here. So, I'm going to be on our platform. So, today, this is our first live in a while. And if you guys listened to the last episode, me, myself, and I discussed um, being by myself, separating, and bringing back relationships, apologizing. And on that episode, if you guys didn't listen, I apologized to a couple of people. I did a Kanye. I say, even on some of the episodes. Okay, this is why we do live. Hold on. Am I good? Hold on. I got a super producer in the background. So while I'm getting all that straight. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I did not know. Hold on. It should be fine now, right? Am I all the way in? No. Oh, because it's on Instagram. Let me see. No. I need to turn it. It's delayed, Kevin. So hold on. Sorry, IG people. Perfect. Okay, perfect. That's for everybody on IG. Hold on, Kevin. Can you come back so I can see one thing? If I put the chat up, is it going to mess it up? Okay, it's not. All right. Thank you. Sorry, IG. This is new. Having this live using Restream on here. Let's see. Give me a second. Everybody, again, share, share, share. Hey, Reggie, the other Reggie. Oh, I'm still on the corner. What is it? Can you? You're going to have to be the super producer. It may be the overlay. This is why. Nope. Hold on. Let me take the overlay off. It may be the overlay. It's still because it's delayed. That's weird. Now hold on, y'all. We trying to get IG right. Is it good? No, because I just. All right, so let me. Jeez, we can't even get in the episode right. Okay. Hold on. Now I got to get resituated. Mm-mm. I didn't zoom in. I'm not zooming in. It's because I'm moving. It's the camera itself. It's not. It's not. It's IG. This is why I don't like lives. It just said something went wrong. Is it on, Kevin? Okay. You sure it's still streaming live? Okay. All right. All right. All right. For everybody that is on Facebook, please, please, please. I'm going to try to get the chats up now. Sorry, you guys. This Instagram thing is a little different for me. All right. If you are on Facebook, I cannot see you. Please leave a comment inside the chat. Open up the live when you leave comments because I'm unable to see them. And if you are sending me DMs, I cannot see my DMs. So, all right. So, I'm going to have to restart again because this is live and we actually are doing the audio version. I'm going to restart, play the music, and then we can get back in. Don't. It's doing it again. It's because of the layover. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to be able. Hopefully, I can see the comments. We'll fix it when we get the comments. So sorry. Let me re-put myself back in, and we're gonna start all over. This sucks. I wanted to do the All right. Hey, you guys, I am back. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody on IG, we're having issues, but hopefully I fixed it. Today, again, we have a good episode. We got some special guests. I know I didn't show who was coming on, but as I was saying before, and this is for audio purposes, my last episode, if you didn't listen to it, me, myself, and I discussed just being in a space by myself, realizing, relationships and communication and how hard it was for me to communicate and just losing relationships due to me being afraid, basically. And I'm happy to say a lot of people listened to the episode. A lot of people were excited because they just assumed things. And then some people asked questions. They wanted to know, like, where is everybody? Because some people were missing, but I found one person. They were lost, but I found them. And where is this person?
All who wander are not lost. Just remember that.
I will remember that. Well, I
What's
found you.
happening, Peaches?
Hey, hey, hey. I don't know. This whole IG thing, I don't know if we're going to be able to do IG live. You may have to look at the comments because you know where my phone is on this.
Oh yeah, well I'm checking the comments. I'm looking.
Okay. Okay.
I got the two lives up. So
Okay. Perfect.
you know what I'm saying? I
Are
got you.
we good or no? And you know what, IG, we're gonna have to take a loss for that one.
Well,
Unless
yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah, IG is tripping because it can't fit both of us on the
both
screen.
of us in there, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, because
crazy.
it's not gonna work. Nope.
It's not gonna do that.
Sorry, IG. So everybody that's on IG, please go to our YouTube. Disaster Data 101 YouTube channel because you're not going
I
to see
mean, you
both.
can leave it up. They just go. It's gonna look crazy for them because there's people in here. There's
I
folks in here.
know. I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Hey, Tania, so crazy. How are you? Hey, Jen. What's going on? we just. I mean, it's just gonna have to look this way. What is going on with like? I told you get a camera, yo.
Don't do that.
If you
We're
get a
not doing
camera,
that
you
right
won't have
now.
to do this.
We're not doing
That's
this
all I'm
right
saying.
now.
If you get a camera, you won't have to do this. That's all.
Don't.
But
Don't
they
do
can
that.
see my face because it's like it's only this half.
Hey,
Of it.
Daisy.
It's
Oh,
like
on
it's like this half on IG, yeah. And your joint is just the ficus in the background.
there we go. Probably can see both of us since I moved the chats over.
Nah, well, let
No,
me
because
see
then it's
because it's
gonna
got a
move the chat.
delay. It's got a little delay. Let's see. IG has the meanest delay, and now it's just me in there. I'll take it.
No.
It's just me. You slid just me over. So and it's a crazy delay on it on the IG joint anyway. So
Yeah. Everybody on IG, I'm gonna need y'all to move over. You know, cause y'all
you
messing
know
up.
you can't drag people to the meta. You know the meta is the devil.
I know.
I don't even condone the meta anymore. That space is
Let me move
toxic.
me
Yeah.
since they
Toxic.
see you. I'm gonna move to me
Toxic.
so they can see
Okay.
me.
I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
I'm trying to shift it and change it, but it's not working.
Are you though?
I really am. I'm trying to change the different. See, I'm trying to change the different.
Not the screen and the screen. Now it's just you on the IG.
No.
If you want to just keep you on the IG, that's fine. Let's just if they can hear me, it don't matter.
Okay. All right, y'all.
You are
I'm
definitely
trying to push.
you're definitely
Huh?
flipping through overlays. Like I'm looking at it. You're just going through all of these screens over here. Oh my goodness.
We can't even get to the subject because
We
of
will.
Instagram.
How
All
y'all?
right.
How y'all
Hey, y'all.
been? Did
So
you miss me?
I miss you.
You did. I missed you too. That's what
I
I was
know.
telling you at
Like
homecoming.
homecoming,
Like
and I mentioned. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's
we
talk
gonna
about
get into it.
homecoming. We go. We gonna
I
get
mean, I
into
got
it.
people that want to know what happened because they was just like, "Oh, y'all getting ready for the next season." I'm like,
So we'll
no,
get into it. I'll look into the camera.
no.
So what happened was Antoine and I did have an original date for the studio for Antoine and I. So I want to make that clear. And
When was that date?
it
It was
was January.
January,
It was
right?
January. It was January.
January. Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to have surgery in January. So then I had to move the date back. Hey Josh, someone mentioned
Let's
to give me
remind everyone that Antoine had no idea about this
the
surgery.
surgery. He didn't. He had no clue. He knew everything else that was going on, minus the surgery. Because don't forget, I had people passing away, you know, grandmas and all that. Antoine knew everything except for the surgery. And so schedule original surgery. And I rescheduled the podcast date. The date that I rescheduled it, Antoine had a trip.
Jamaica, man. I was on my way to Jamaica for the winter seasons.
And
No, it was a
maybe
planned trip, and
I know. But I was frustrated outside of you because it had nothing to do with you. It just had to do with, you know, everything that was going on. It was mainly everything that was going on. And I was
right.
frustrated. And I literally just said, bump everybody. This is the date I'm doing. I can't. And it again, it wasn't towards Antoine. It was just because Antoine has been very flexible with the entire podcast. And as I said in the last episode, Antoine has been the most supportive with the podcast, 100 episodes, just push. And outside of me and my personal stuff with relationships, not having relationships and everything, and me moving, the surgery, my blood pressure, just everything, I was frustrated and I was just like, no, this is when I'm doing it and this is how it's going to be. And I said, guess you're going to be a featured guest.
Oh, I wish it was that cold. If it was that cold, it would have probably
Not
been
that cold,
but if it
but
was that
it
cold, it would have been an easier pill to swallow. Let me
yeah.
remind the viewers how that conversation went down.
Okay.
Right. So boom, you like, yo, we're going in the studio in February. And I'm like, yo, what date? And then you gave the exact weekend that I'm in Jamaica. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be here. I'm going to Jamaica. I've been telling you this, like, why did you change the date? And I asked you that, like, why did you change the date without letting me know? And in your frustration, whatever was going on that particular day, you were just like, you was on some like bump it, right? But it didn't just go down like that. It was just kind of like, all right, so boom, like another day went by, and then we spoke, and the vibe was off. I could just tell the
Yeah.
vibe was off. So I was just like, I was like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Can we push this another time? Like because getting to New York was a whole thing. Like getting to New York, being gone for a whole weekend, having to clear that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was gonna, like we was better than that part right there. And I'm just like
Mhm.
trying to figure out like what's going on. And you just like, well, I'm changing the format. And I'm just gonna do me. It's just gonna be me, and I'm just gonna have featured guests. And I said, oh, okay.
And so my plan, what I was thinking, and when I said that, I was going to have Robin, because Robin was available, and my plan was to go to the studio again. But the second part of the studio didn't happen because I didn't even finish season 3. For everybody that knows, I literally probably put out 3 episodes. I had to delete episodes because I started listening because I was mad when I was in the studio. Um, he did not sound cheap.
I think I nailed it. I think I nailed that. I think I nailed that one. That was a personal feeling. Like I can do that. Right. You just hit me with the oak dope. And so it's crazy. So I had all this equipment already, right? And I never get to use it because the person I was supposed to pod with, just too much going on. And then we had our thing. I was so determined. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get mine up and running. Everybody was like, keep going. I was just like, I couldn't turn the shit back on. Couldn't turn these cameras,
And
couldn't turn
I
these
and I
lights on.
didn't wanna come back on because I knew you was off. I didn't wanna record again. That was another reason because we had this thing, you know, and it wasn't the same. It definitely wasn't. It wasn't the same. Even though me and Robin love Robin on here, Robin has been on here since day one. But when Antoine came on, Antoine gave a different perspective of it wasn't a woman bashing or it was just really being very pure and honest about the conversations and asking questions and saying like you don't like this doesn't sound good, these situations don't sound too healthy, and listening to what was being said.
I hadn't seen you too till I saw you at homecoming.
Yeah, and I broke down crying, y'all. I cried.
Well, I
I
mean,
was
it
cry-
was it was it was a drunk fueled cry because
I
here
wasn't drunk. I
you
didn't
wasn't
have
drunk.
no, I didn't have any alcohol in me.
Really?
Yes, that
I
was
haven't.
sincere.
I was Liddy City over there. It was homecoming, baby. It was
I
80
was
degrees. My thighs was out, and I'm just
I
walking.
was sober. This was a real cry for me.
I'm walking through the crowd, and I see you, and I'm like, she gonna hear this today. I ain't even give you the. I didn't even give you the space to see if you could even at homecoming.
At
And
homecoming in the yard, like right in,
just pulled her into my space and got in that ear like, nigga, what the fuck was wrong with you? Like
and I just bust out. I just broke down. My best friend Jennifer was like, "We're not
she's like,
gonna
not
have this
now,
right
don't
now,"
do it
and he
now.
was
I was
like,
like,
"Yes."
no, she gonna hear this right now. But I'm glad I did because I needed to get it out for myself as far as making a peace with it. I told everybody anytime, like this was your pod. I was blessed to be on. I was blessed to contribute. I was blessed to help you try to get to where you wanted to go with it. And if you decided that you wanted to do something different or you wanted to end it, yeah. But like I just felt like when it happened, whatever connection and friendship we had was not exhibited in you explaining you was going in a different direction.
That's true. Because it didn't make sense. It did. But because I was just trying to get out of everything, I just felt like I could just say something and get out of it.
You know what
Let
it felt like for me? It felt like when you take them matching pajama pictures in Christmas, and then by Valentine's, you're not with that person no more,
with that person no more.
and you
Yeah.
got to explain that to everybody.
What
What happened to
happened?
the podcast? Y'all was doing so well.
I got it. Where's Twan? What happened to Twan? Where's Twan? I'm like, because I didn't have a valid reason. I couldn't say you left. I couldn't.
I appreciate you not making me the villain.
I couldn't.
I just say, hey, it was her podcast. She wanted to go in a different direction. Wish her well. That's all I kept saying because I definitely was getting the questions. And then it was so crazy because some friends of mine, they started a podcast on they started podding on, remember that old app? The app
You mentioned it. I didn't know what you were talking
it
about.
started with an S. Anyway, they started on there and they just grew, and we used to talk about it because we was doing it at the same time. But they was starting at a different level because you'd already been using this and streaming and starting to get on YouTube and stuff, and they hadn't got to that point yet, but now they are. And they was the first ones asking, "Oh man, we used to listen. What happened?" And I was like, "Yeah, it just
we got a
happened.
fresh start.
We do.
All over.
2024, baby.
Yeah, we got enough time to squeeze the episode in too.
Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, and if we don't, we can hop back on, y'all. You know how we do. Part 1s, 2s, and 3s up on
Part
it.
1s and 2s and 3s.
Yes,
No,
I
not
am on
Spotify.
Spotify.
No,
Oh no!
asking about the app.
About the thing. No, it wasn't Spotify.
I forget what they call it. It was so funny because it wouldn't show you. It would show these avatars of you. It would just be like your face and the faces be talking. What was that damn? Stereo. Oh. Stereo was the name of that. Yeah, Stereo. Yeah, that was for like podcasting 101. Everybody had a show.
So it's cold outside.
Man, it's cold and wet.
Cold and wet, and it's cuffing season.
Hey, so I'm gonna just say this to the fellas real quick. If you on these dating apps and you notice an influx of likes between the months of November and early March, you're being recruited, bro.
That part.
You're being recruited, bro.
I think I did it once last year, December.
For all my teddy bear niggas out here, you definitely getting recruited right now. I'm saying you are warmth. You are male fupa.
Nah, I had a female. I don't want to say who. She said, I'm a big girl. I'm snuggly and warm, so I know guys gonna be coming my way. It's getting cold outside.
Man, you need some layers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So yeah, cuffing season. Do you play? Do you play cuffing season? You have your draft and shit. Get your rosters. Got your draft board.
I had, and let me say this now, but all the people that's been in my DMs, like, I appreciate the messages, but if there is no action to it, please do not send me a DM, because I think now that I'm not playing the game and I know what I want and I just don't have time to entertain, it's more so of, hey, I just wanted to send you a message. Okay, that's great. If you don't have nothing else to say, then if there is no action, you're going to get my reaction, basically. But before, I did have a lineup. I felt like I had one. Like I had somebody that I was talking to. I would see them and spend time when I could. I mean, before, especially when I stayed in Jersey. Oh yeah.
Listen,
the dude who stayed around the corner, the one you said that should have been my boo, but I wasn't ready. That was during cuffing season. Because matter of fact, his birthday is in October, so that was all cuffing season.
Why do y'all play the game? Yeah. Why y'all play the game?
And that was good. And then when the summer came, somebody came around. And I was like, sir, I don't know what I want.
No, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. What do you mean you don't know what you want? You know exactly what you wanted.
I'm
Listen,
unsure.
listen. Cuffing ain't for the weak, and cuffing ain't for the attached. Okay,
That's true.
cuffing is a very temporary situation. It's like the best way to say friends with bennies. Okay,
That's true.
and I realized that I don't do cuffing season because I'm already a hermit crab in the wintertime anyway, unless I'm traveling. So just kind of like being out and about ain't a thing. I'm in the crib. I'm chilling. Now, as a dog dad, I'm definitely in the crib chilling.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, like, you on cuff. The nigga cuffing is, you better come on here and get one of these ninja combi meals that I am making up in here, or come watch this plethora of movies and shit, or peruse my books, and because and if you don't want to do that, if you want to, you still want to be outside, or you want to, you know what I'm saying, you kind of want to, you think that's boring, well then that's why I don't do cupping season, because like my space and my personal time, like if I'm gonna share that with you in the time where I'm being the biggest hermit crab, like you ain't gonna be out here trying to like influence me to like get active. I don't.
Yeah, that's me. When it gets cold, I'm not really trying to do much. And then again, I just noticed allowing people in my space. I allowed somebody in my space recently, and it was just like, nah,
Mm,
I'm
mm.
not. This ain't for me. Like I can't
What
do
was, what was your all right? What was your best and worst cuffing experience?
it. Best was old head from Jersey. Like
Oh
nothing.
hey,
Nothing can beat that. I mean, we listened to 90s R&B. He used to always bring a bottle of wine every time he came over. Like
and not that
always
box,
had
and not
different
that box
wine.
shit, not that box shit,
Not
huh?
the box, not a bottle.
Mm.
Cause we stayed right next to the wine, like the liquor store, whatever. And he would bring a bottle of wine. We would listen to 90s R&B and we would just chill all night.
Y'all
It's
stayed in the same complex?
No, he literally straight stayed one street over. And
Okay.
this is the guy that grandma met and
Mm.
gave him my number.
Oh yeah, that was an alley oop. But
Yeah.
so what's so crazy about that one? I remember you was telling me like, here's this cuffing situation, and you was trying to convince him that he wasn't enough, and he was trying to tell you, nah, you're not ready.
Yep.
But do do you feel like that want was the reason why you ended it? Did you end the cuffing season prematurely?
No, I ended it October. We went out for his birthday. We talked all the way until the summertime, the beginning of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we almost made it a year, I feel like. And then someone um someone came through and was saying they wanted to try to rekindle things with me. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of talking to somebody, but it's not serious. But I really want to kind of see where this gonna go. But since I've known you and I know you full of ish, but I feel like you're serious this time. I
Oh, this time. Talk about spinning the block. God
But I
damn.
think because he was much older than me, I had just turned 30 and I think he was 38.
He was perfect for what you needed. You wanted to make something more out of that. And when you knew you couldn't make more out of that, you weaponized it against him. And he was trying to tell you, like, look, what we got is good. And tell him about what you working with. You need to just be present.
And
You
that was the thing. We talked about it on the episode prior to. So everybody that's listening to the audio, you guys are going to get this episode later. So the episodes are going to flow, but this is exclusive to YouTube, IG, how I don't know, and Facebook. But you mentioned it when you said when we talked about casually dating and just letting things flow. And my issue with that situation was I wanted to put my little fingers in it and say, hey, you're not telling me that you want, like, you're not saying the things is saying we're in a relationship. And I felt like I needed to hear that at that time. And that's why I left, because I felt like, hey, it's still open. But again, I wasn't allowing things to flow.
Mm. Mm.
That was the
Listen,
issue.
I mean, hindsight, 2020, right? This is the year of lessons and blessings.
Yep.
And
2024.
so, I mean, imagine something. Are you still cuffing? You still participating in cuffing season? Are you just not going to do you
I'm
are
not
you
gonna
done
do
and
it.
you good? You good on the hood with that?
Not this season. I'm not doing it.
You taking the season off.
I'm taking the season off. I ain't taking no I ain't recruiting nobody. No. Nah. I just can't. Even the person I want to cuff with, because there is someone I want to cuff with.
Yeah.
I don't,
That's
because
good.
I know it's not gonna lead to anything. So
Oh, whoa.
it's
Whoa.
just gonna be cuffing, and I don't
But
want it,
but that's okay. You don't want it with him because you want more with him.
because I want more with him.
All right, y'all gotta start talking and stop talking in riddles, man. Goddamn. Listen, first of all, we need to change a lot of terminology. Gotta stop
Okay.
using because using certain terms don't match with its actions, right?
Yeah, I don't want to cuff with him because I want something serious with him.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, they don't resist the
So
urge.
I'm not gonna do it because know what it's gonna. I don't. I don't want it to lead to that. Like you said, I don't want to try to put terms on it when I know if I invite him in my space, that's what it's gonna be.
Now, if you just happen to be really seeing and dating somebody between cuffing season times, don't confuse that with cuffing because
Oh, I know, but
cuffing
no.
is still very casual. You know what I'm saying? And the problem with cuffing is that you're spending all this time with people and you like them. You're not cuffing them because they just a temporary fix. You cuffing them because you like them,
That part.
right? You cuffing with them and you like them, and then that line gets blurred and gray, and a lot of people just sit in it, don't have no adult conversation about it. It's
No, I have. I've had the conversation. I said, I have to put a pause on anything
Mhm,
that we've done, because I know how I feel
mm,
and where I'm at. And
mhm.
I just don't want this to be what it can lead to be. And especially with the confusion. If you're not serious and you don't want anything serious from me, I'm not going to entertain it,
Mm.
because I know how I feel for that person. And I'm going to have that emotional connection.
Um, that's beautiful. Keep that energy. And no, Dana, I am not cuffing. Um, um, just nah, I'm not cuffing. Cuffing is expensive right now too. You know what's the most expensive currency of cuffing right now? Your
Uber
time.
Eats.
Yo, I can't have people deliver my food, son. I'm sorry. Shit is so weird to me. Like, I just see niggas eating my fries in their car and shit, like wait for me to come
And
downstairs.
every time my bag is open, I just like
I,
it's a
like, thank God, like Five Guys started stapling the bag.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't do that. So I don't trust it. I'd rather just go pick it up. Besides, like the fees for Uber Eats, my God, even with Uber
It's
One.
ridiculous.
Even with
Yeah.
the Uber One joint, I'm paying $9 a month for Uber One, and I'm saving $3 on delivery fees and service fees and convenience
Don't forget
fees.
you gotta tip them, because like
Tip, nigga. Unless you coming over here with that food piping hot out the bag, you tip.
one
I
thing I'll give Uber other than DoorDash.
start
Uber
giving niggas out ginger beers
will
when they show up. You want something to drink?
refund your money right away if you got an issue.
Oh, they
DoorDash
got
be
to,
like,
cause they
nah,
listen. You
I
have
give
here's Uber math. You know that term. Everybody be like something math. This is Uber math. Hey, I spent $30 and they forgot 2 biscuits. Here's a refund of $3. What? 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 If that.
Yeah, Uber gives like the whole thing. Just show a picture and they'll give you the refund.
I would eat
DoorDash
all
don't.
your fries if you ain't tipping. Damn. That's the world we
Dang.
live in. That's the world we live in, huh?
See, now I ain't doing no more Uber
I
Eats.
ain't eating nothing. You fucking it up for the people who depends on this economy. Because
Go
I'm
back
already,
to a
I'm
fresh
out. I don't
start.
want no more of it. I don't want no more
It's
of it.
starting over because we start.
All right. You know, it's funny you said that. Starting over.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh start.
Yes.
Right? We talked about in the last conversation, like being your own best friend.
Yep.
You know, you can't spin the block if you love yourself.
But spinning the block is very
Mm.
comfortable.
Is
And
it?
it's it's that comfort because again, when you're trying to recruit for cuffing season, this is I don't know other women see it this way. Like trying to bring a new recruit in is kind of hard because you gotta get to know them. You gotta go through
Yo, listen to
the
me.
whole thing. But when you know that
Because your
person,
onboarding process sucks. That's why. Like if you ain't got no policies and procedures around your onboarding, your coffee seasons is a chaos. It's just chaos.
it's seasonal, so you recruit the seasonal people first. The old
No,
seasonal.
no, 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 man. You know what the problem is? Honestly, you supposed to start cuffing season with new blood every time. You can't use any old
You think
people.
so?
Yeah, that's why it's fucking cuffing season. You have a draft for a reason. You don't draft somebody and then go back to college and redraft them again. Duh.
Okay. All right.
Come on, man. It's fresh blood every time.
New recruits for December 2024 then. All right.
Somebody says, what happens if you're cuffing and you or the other person decide to be in a relationship, but it's not with you? Then cuff is over.
Yeah. It's over
Finish. Yeah.
and you can't get in your
Job
feelings
done.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. You
That's
know what I mean?
that's what I did with old boy. Like, hey, I found somebody else. Gotta go.
I be trying to tell people all the time, man, like every interaction with an opposite sex and even with the same sex these days, you gotta ask. But the everybody ain't like the goal ain't to be well, I said the end result is not supposed to always be a relationship or like a happily ever after. Like some people, yeah, they put you on a new music or they teach you something about yourself. You know, they introduce you to new technologies and birth control. Like every just I mean they have different purposes than the grand one you decided for them. You know what I'm saying? So
But that's where the attachment, and I'm happy you said that because that was my issue is someone coming in my space, introducing me to something new, that feeling of newness, that feeling of something fresh, that feeling of feeling appreciated, and just someone really supporting and feeling like this is the one and putting them in that compartment like what, I found the one, but not just allowing like, hey, this may just be a season. That was what was hard for me, is to separate, because even the guy in Orlando, I knew that he was not the one, but I attached myself and it became routine. Like the routine was once a month, I'm in Orlando. I'm out there for a week, whatever it is. Then weeks became days, and then days became, I'm going to see my cousin. I'll come see you also. But I still felt like I was obligated to be in that space with him
because
because I put in that time. It was almost 2 years.
so you telling me all of these old concepts like return on investment, face sense of loyalty. We can keep going. All of these reasons
I felt like I was obligated.
under the comfort umbrella. By the way, comfort. The fuck.
It was comfortable. I was in a space where he his space. I love being in his space. Like his house, he had does great with decor and all that. Even with like the way he made his bed, he's very detailed. He does art. He's an artist just like me. And for me, he was supportive in a lot of spaces, you know, having me like look at things in different spaces, because he was the one who told me not to cut people off. He told me that. He said, stop doing that. That's not a good habit. You know, I will say, like, even with me finishing school, that was my drive to finish school. Like, this man supported me so much because I literally was like, I can't do it. This is not for me. I made the dean's list twice, but
Oh,
I mean, he pushed me,
okay, so then what
and I felt an obligation.
you felt an obligation.
I
Okay.
felt like since he's so supportive, since we've been in this for over a year, it's going on 2 years, like we're in this space of comfort. I might as well just try to make it work.
How many conversations did y'all have?
About us, we talked about it the second night that we met, because the first night we met,
Don't
it
sound like a
was
lot of conversations I have.
hold on, because the first night it
If
was
you
supposed
have
to
to
be a
start
one and
off
done.
with how many conversations did y'all have? Is there a number attached to it?
We talked about it frequently when I was there. Like the last time that I was there,
What was
not
the
the very
conclusion
last
after
time.
all of these conversations?
What was what?
The conclusion.
That we were in this space that we were going to see where this goes with us, and
That was agreed on both parties.
that was agreed upon on both parties. But
But she was lying.
I was lying to myself.
Yeah. What I say? If they like you enough, they'll lie to themselves.
Yeah, you
He
did say that. You said
Guys, stop lying, because if they like you enough, they will lie to themselves. You ain't gotta lie.
and I was cool. I thought I was cool with going with the flow. And then when I started seeing that other women, I knew other women were around. I ain't gonna lie. I knew it. I was in this man's house weeks at a time. I cooked. I navigated his space while he was at work. So I knew there were other women around. But when it was like open and obvious after that first year, that's when it was like, well, what about me?
It
But
didn't
I
change.
knew it. Like,
But okay, so why was it okay as long as he hid it from you? Why was it okay as long as he hid it from you? Why did it
because
become a problem when it became out in the open? Because shit, if I'm doing it and after a while, like you're right,
Because in
it's
my
too
head,
much energy
we
to
were
hide it.
going to see where this was going to go, meaning that we were going to focus on us and build and try to build a relationship
Well, he ain't
from a
doing
one
that if you
from a
know,
one night stand.
but you
So
but you know he ain't doing that if you already know he's still fucking around. That's
I wanted to
already a breach of
convince
contract.
myself that he
Ooh,
wasn't though. That
ooh.
again, like you said, that whole part, I was like, nah, that's just a friend.
Okay.
Like even when I seen like the food in the refrigerator, I
Yeah,
had
that
like
part.
I Googled, found the chick online, and I saw how young she was. So I was like, nah, that's a student. That's not somebody he messing with.
Oh,
I was
don't
like,
do
I
that.
can't see it. Then when I seen the boarding pass for Jamaica in the
Jamaica,
in the
Jamaica. Jamaica,
on the
that
desk,
Jamaica trip is not doing you well at all. Like
no.
I
he,
went to Jamaica,
he went and made
you broke down. This guy out here taking chicks to Jamaica. You gonna hate Jamaica. And Jamaica's a beautiful place. You gonna hate Jamaica. Jamaica's so beautiful.
Yep,
Like
when I seen the boarding pass for Jamaica, and that's when I was like, I don't know why I'm trying to convince myself that I'm the only one in here.
mm.
Yeah.
So w-
I could have been a cuff. Shoot, we met into somewhere into the winter.
you were a cuff, dummy. You big dummy. You were a cuff. You was a whole cuff. He kept telling you, yeah, he ain't say nothing intentional. He said, we
He
just
did.
gonna see where this goes. And that's cool. Because there are some people who do believe that. But those people are the same ones that are not trying to be forced into monogamy for the sake of. They want to find out who is truly meant for them. And so you have to be okay with understanding, like, he told you you're currently lying to yourself, you're not being honest with yourself, and you're letting shit slide. You're letting shit slide that you would normally let slide.
Yeah, and I did because, and guess auntie, I was a cuff. Uh I I knew that, like, even when December hit, and I will always put my stuff in the guest room. I never put, like, where his room was, it was just easier for me to put my stuff in the guest room because the bathroom that we always used was closer to the guest room versus his room.
Mm,
And when it was like December and it was presents in there, and I remember I gave him something. He was like, "Why did you give me something?" Mind you, we had been talking since June.
mhm,
And so I saw a different presence in there, and I was like, "Well, maybe he'll give me something." Nothing. And I knew Valentine's Day it was over because I
mhm,
seen a card from somebody else talking about how much they loved him. And I seen that even though the gift was right there in the living room when I came in there,
mhm.
and then that's when I started to pull back. But again, it was a routine by then. And I didn't know how to get out.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't know
did.
what to
You did
say.
well. No, you probably didn't know how to get out.
I didn't.
I mean, th- the the leaving is easy. You know what I'm saying? Or
So when I
the
seen
walking away is easy. It's the leaving part that's hard.
Yeah,
But
so when I
listen,
seen that boarding pass, that's when I asked him about it. And even with that, he wasn't what wasn't the excuse, Jen?
all your reasons,
Oh. Oh, to not leave.
but you know what it was. He was, and I've been guilty of it. You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
something
Like,
different.
no, it was something that was not your chaos. It was like some real calm in your
It was
chaos,
calm. It
and
was
you and
so
you and you
calm.
and you latched yourself onto
Yep.
it.
It was so calm. And that's what I love. It wasn't he didn't guilt. He was just a calm person. It was like, I don't got time for BS. Even when people will call, I don't got time, he'll hang up. Like, I'm not listening to it. Even when, like, I would get upset and I would get loud, like,
He
Lloyd
was
gets,
supposed
like, he was just chill. And it was that
to get you through whatever that storm was, so
to
that you
graduate.
can so you come out on the other side stronger than you went in.
That's true.
People think, even with his casual nature, cuffing ain't cold hearted, because you are spending time. You're spending intimate time, and not just like fucking or making out. I'm talking about you
No, it
spending
wasn't. It was
no, I
that.
mean personal, intimate time with someone, and you're talking about shit, and y'all go on. You got your shit, and y'all feeding off each other, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to you have to really build your heart and your mind and understand that this has an expiration date.
Yeah, it
You know
did.
what I'm saying? It has an expiration date, and you and that person have to be on the same page about what it is. Y'all can't be over there building illegitimate, like, backdoor intentions and shit, because that ain't gonna never line up. If
And that's where the issue was. Like you said, that we weren't honest about it because when everything went down, I was like, I had asked him about the ticket and I was like, I was in the office, I seen a return ticket and it had the name that I had seen on the food that was in the refrigerator, the same name.
hey, they about to break back America's Most Wanted. You should interview as an investigator, just for.
But I looked her up. I found like I knew already knew the name. So when I seen it, he was like, "Oh, she bought me the ticket." I was like, "It's a boarding pass. Her name is not going to be on the boarding pass." And then that's when he was like, "I mean, I go to Jamaica all the time. People buy me stuff." I said, "Okay, when you went to Jamaica last, did you go by yourself?"
Yeah,
No.
That question, that line of questioning where you had to like drill down to
Because he wouldn't
specifics.
say it. That's the part
Yeah,
that made me mad.
you didn't need to hear it at that point. You already knew, so you should like you. First of all, you should have been gone. But by the time this conversation is, you should have been mad, and
I
you
was
should have been
pissed.
mad, right? But you still were like
No,
bouncing.
I wasn't there. I was gone. Like I had like made a mistake and broke. Like I was so frustrated. I ended up breaking something in the house. Like before I left, I was like beyond frustrated. Like when I left, I was mad. Like I
Yeah.
was really mad. Like I was on some because even the last time we talked, he hung up on me. I was pissed because yeah,
So if
because
you
and
just
that's why I got mad too, because it's like, why do I have to say 101 questions when all you have to say is you went with this woman? Because as soon as I said, did you go with your boys? No. I said, did you go with another woman? You know, never said this was exclusive. I'm like, really? But you questioning me when I'm at home who I'm going out with and I shouldn't go out with certain people. Like, don't do that.
no,
I said,
you
we said
never
that we was
said
building
no,
something
no, no, no.
together.
But you didn't say it was exclusive. See what I'm saying? You didn't say what it is that you wanted. You didn't say exactly what it is that it was for
I
you.
said it in the beginning.
You went
I said
along.
it,
You went along with something that
but I
wasn't.
did go along with it. I will
Yeah,
agree.
you
I
went along
did.
with something that you didn't really agree with. But you know, it's cool. Hindsight, 2020, lessons and blessings. You got your
Yes,
lesson.
lessons and blessings. I got my
Hmm.
lesson, I got my blessing out of it too. So, I
Amen.
guess too, because I think it said it wraps up at an hour now.
Oh yeah, it definitely
Um,
does. It's like a Zoom call that you don't pay for.
I know, right? So, is it okay being single? Is being single a good thing or a bad thing?
Why are we still single shaming? Like, why are we still single shaming? Like, I done
How
seen
do I
so
move
many
over to you?
listen. Why are we still single shaming? What are y'all showing us on the other side besides Instagram posts? My man, my MCM, my WCW, every day, all day. Y'all don't show the
Lesson and
fights,
blessings.
the petty conversation. Half of y'all not in real therapy to address the day-to-day issues that y'all didn't fix before you got married or got into this relationship. So why we still single shaming? Like I'm happy as fuck single. You not happy as fuck single? I'm always happy as fuck single.
I'm good. I'm
For
good.
me right now, relationships are like heavy. Like I don't want heavy, right?
I feel like people don't like you said, people don't know what they want. They see what they see on Instagram, they see what they see on Facebook, and that's not the
It's
reality.
never the
I know
reality. That
that.
shit hard as fuck.
And so when getting into these things, it's like everything is good, hot and heavy in the beginning, and then people don't know how to maintain a
Look,
relationship.
like I said, you know how many divorces I've been part of in the last year and a half, just as far as just like friends and listening to them and shit. Do you know how many of my friends that are married are secretly unhappy?
Oh, I know a couple.
Secretly unhappy, right? And be warning me, like, don't do it, Antoine. And I'll be like, you ain't gotta talk to me like that.
Nah, somebody told me recently, I ain't gonna say who, I can't say who, but she was like, nah, I enjoy this. Trust me. Don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
Don't.
You about to be an empty nester.
I am technically an empty nester though.
Mm.
I see my kids on
My
the
thing is this,
weekends.
and I'll say this for most people who are like approaching empty nesting or enjoying the early stages of it. You just spent your whole life in a relationship, most of your adult life in a relationship, the other half of your adult life serving other people. When was the last time a lot? Some of y'all in y'all 40s and 50s ain't been single since you was 20.
Yeah.
And scared. You know, you feel like Bambi after his mama got shot. You just out here just scared, thinking you by yourself,
I ain't
right?
for the streets.
And then you just start jumping in. You start jumping in relationships because that's comfortable, and you convince yourself, "Oh, I'm a relationship person." When did you ever had time to just like focus on you and do you? Like, why is that such a bad thing? And it doesn't matter when somebody enters that stage in their life. If it's making them happy and it's making them a better fucking human, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because what we not gonna do in 2024 It's status shame. You want to be in a relationship? You want to be married? Have an open bar on your wedding. Invite me. I'm all smiles and laughs. But if you single and you enjoy being single, don't let nobody tell you that you're supposed to be with somebody, or why you out here trying to, fellas. Don't let nobody pressure you talking about some being a forever bachelor. Who gives a fuck?
Why gotta be for the
I mean,
guys?
because I
Like,
don't know what kind of shame that women do for y'all. Y'all shame is very subtle and petty. It's just a bunch of posts that they make sure that they put in the closed friend circle. It's just green in the green circle on the on the story, right? Make sure everybody see it. Yeah, that's why y'all these extravagant weddings. What y'all these extravagant weddings for? For who? For you and your bride, your groom? No. No. It's for all the people in attendance. 4 or 5 different bridesmaids, 2 maid of honors, 1 matron of honor, 30 flower girls and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you could just walk down and have a video of some man crying at you, waiting for you to take this fucking long ass walk down the aisle. So you
there
could jump over
that
the
that is
groom
the
and have a
moment
viral
that,
wedding
you
moment.
know.
I saw this cute John, man. This chick pulled out her wedding vows to speak to her man, and they had been together for like 15 years. So when she first pulled the paper out, she unfolded it and blew the dust off it. And everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's the most viral, it's the cutest thing." But that's what they're doing it for. You know, if I was to ever get married, I'm not doing no big ass wedding. We're gonna go down to the. We already got to go down to the judge to sign the marriage license, and so that's officially made us married right there. And the best I
Like,
can offer you for your need to show the world is tell everybody where we flying to next.
well, I want a wedding. Whoever you may be listening, if
For
you
what in
out there,
America? For what it costs? You got that type of money? Loan me $30.
I don't got 30.
Because daddies of the brides ain't paying for weddings no more.
I was about to say I'll be paying for my own. Ain't nobody paying
You
for my
still want to
wedding.
do marriage? You want to get married?
I do.
Are
I
you
wanna
in
get
love with
married.
the concept of marriage? We got 1 minute. You in love with the concept of marriage? Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
Tell these people we'll talk about that when we get back. Countdown.
Are we coming back
Yeah, why
on?
not?
We hopping
It's
back
still
on?
early.
Y'all want us to hop back on? Yeah, we can hop
It's
back
still
on.
early.
All right. We gonna Facebook, Instagram, we're gonna try this again. I don't know how did we have comments on Instagram?
I mean, you got comments because they only see you.
Oh.
I don't even know if they hear me because I got the volume turned down on the iPad. I mean,
I guess I'm not, yeah, because I can look at it. Let me see.
Facebook got folks in there, but you seeing these coming up. And then
Yeah.
you said it's on Tube. It's on the Tube too?
It's on YouTube. Yeah, that's who Jelani the gamer is on YouTube. Thanks for
Oh yeah, I do
watching,
see his
Jelani.
icon. Okay. Well then,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you might
It's just Instagram.
overlay.
Instagram is what we can't see it.
Yeah, they said they all left IG. So
Oh, okay.
all right, so then
Oh
let's
well.
well, does Facebook Live kick
Yeah, I'm
you
not
off or
live
does
though.
IG Live kick you off?
IG must have kicked me off.
It ain't no, it's still on right now.
Let's see.
What
We're
you got
gonna
like
go through this minute.
you got 20 seconds.
We got 20. Let's see if we make it past.
Yeah, you're gonna be out.
I mean, it's easy to hop back on. You know that.
That's what she said.
I'm not.
Hey yo.
Where we at? We got less than 10. It's me, Tanea. Oh, it's her son. She on IG. Tanea. Thank you, Tanea. I was wondering who Jelani the gamer was.
Somebody
Oh, we passed. We got an hour.
we had an hour.
We had an hour.
IG still rolling.
It's still recording. All right. IG not rolling.
I mean, unless it's like super delayed, I still see you.
Hold on. Oh, let me go out of mine and see.
Anyway, shout out to the national champions. Hail to the victors, go blue. Man, that was an exhilarating game last night. I was sitting eating my jerk chicken,
Oh
screaming,
yeah, I forgot how
screaming my
we
head
couldn't
off.
afford.
Yeah.
Oh, I am live.
Oh man,
Okay, it's still
still
live.
live.
All right, so where were so I
Do
guess I
you
need to
love the institution and concept of marriage? Yes or no?
the, okay. As far as the legal portion, that we have to put as far that
No,
part,
the
you know.
whole concept of being married, of serving another person,
Yes, yes, yes,
obedience and
yes, yes.
submittance and loyalty,
I
all of
will
that. You
say
you in
yes,
love with
yes.
all of that,
That
the
is
good, the bad.
my my love language is acts of service.
Okay. I mean, up the ups, the downs, the growth, the evolving,
I'm
all of
for
that.
it.
You still in
Change,
love with that.
yes, I'm for it.
I do not love the concept of marriage because I feel like it's bullshit. And so, because I do not love the concept of marriage, I do not desire to be married. And I tell people this because if you do not love the concept of marriage, and let's just say it's just you and me, it's just you and me, and I say, you know what? Tasha got a nice little booty. You know what I'm saying? That hair be doing his thing. You know what? She been with me the longest. I'll marry her. I say that. You're good. Not I love the concept of marriage. You're good enough to marry. Well, you know what I just did?
But see,
You know what I just did?
what
I
did
just put the whole burden of my happiness in this marriage on you. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna fail me.
Shanae, can you come on over to Facebook, because when you make comments on IG, we can't see them on the
She
live.
said you have to understand the concept of marriage. And a lot of
Yeah,
but
I
people
know.
don't. And they so in order to love it, you do have to understand the concept of it. But if you don't have neither one of those pieces of knowledge, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. And if you don't agree with either one of those, the concept, understanding it, none of that, then you definitely shouldn't do it. And yet we're doing it, and we're failing at those at alarming rates right now.
No, I understand that concept, the things that you mentioned, and I know that that's what it takes. I know the ups and downs. I know growing, the changing, as we evolve, because even with my friends that I noticed that got married in their 20s, they're starting to divorce in their late 30s, 40s, because that person isn't the same
Now that
person.
the love is gone. Listen. But you know what? The problem was back then, they built well, somebody said you gotta build the foundation first. Nobody got patience for that, Dana. They ain't moving with that type of patience.
They ain't
They ain't
trying
trying to do all
to,
that.
no.
But
They ain't trying to build a foundation.
um damn, I forgot what I was about to say now. Dag it.
Why you thinking? I know my ex, even with that building the foundation, I used to say that to my ex all the time, the one that I live with. Like, we have to, like, even if our foundation, we gotta start over, we have to build. If our foundation isn't strong, we are going to completely, like, it's we're gonna fall apart.
If you have the right person, it'll become easy. Who determines that? They the right person. Like, how do you get to that point? Everybody else,
I was gonna
everybody's.
ask that.
I mean, compromise. That's one concept, not shared by a lot of people. Compromise.
Some people aren't willing some people aren't willing to compromise.
What are you
And
compromising
that
on?
is the
What are you compromising? Because see, if you build in the foundation, you're getting to know that person. And just like in regular friendships, if you know that person and you accept them, then they can't surprise you. And that's what I was about to say. A lot of people was basing these marriages off of that wild and crazy concept of compatibility. What are we compatible about? Right? But that that theory is flawed in the sense that if you're ever evolving, that means the shit I was on 5 years ago, I might not be on that
it's not
shit
the same.
now. And if that's what we based our relationship on, those things that we were so similar on, and I move away from those, what is left to save us?
And are you willing to accept that new
Are you
person?
willing to accept that new person?
And that's where
Most of the
I've
divorce
noticed
has
that's where
it is
that's exactly where it
right now.
is.
You don't you who
That's
is this
exactly where
nigga?
it
I don't know him no more.
this is not the same
And
person I
yeah,
had.
I hear it all the time, and it'd be the most subtle thing. They don't even realize they said it. It wasn't always like this. That's be the famous thing they say. It wasn't always like this. When did it change? What made it? What life altering event, or what made it? When did you notice the change, and when did you decide to notice the change? Because sometimes you see the change and you just
And I was gonna say that. So with uh a couple that I knew, and when the wife was ready to divorce or cheat, whatever came first, her issue was he doesn't do this. He doesn't show love this way. And I'm like, but you knew he didn't show love that way when you first met him. But now that you have somebody else in your ear and you see something
mhm,
new, that's what you want. And you don't want it from your husband. You want it from this new person because of how it
mm.
feels. And I even said, why don't you talk to him about this? Because you knew that this was the person that you married. Like y'all been married for almost 20 years. When did you think he was going to change? But because some people see something new, or they're yearning for something that their husband weren't giving them, and I'm only going based off of scenarios I know from the women that I've talked to that have been married and now divorced. It's always the same thing. He didn't give me this, and somebody else gave it to me. And when I try to get him to give it to me that way, it's not the same. So that's where, when you said if the person didn't change or the person may have evolved. Heard a situation where I want to buy a house with a pool. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he doesn't want to do all that.
You know that unless people like go through their pastor or something, and their pastor is like a stickler. A lot of people skip the premarital counseling
I think that's important.
because that
I
I
would
think I
I would
think that
like
would
to do
stop
that I
a
if
lot,
I
right? I I I I remember sitting in a therapy session, and I'm explaining how I'm not how what I'm feeling. And even in that therapy session, and in front of a person that can point it out, they was listening to speak. They was listening to speak. And it took the therapist to point that out. And even in that, and I said, yeah, still did it again. And I told the therapist, I was like, this will probably be our last session. And she was like, oh no, I thought we was making some headway. I was like, nah, I'm not staying in this. And this wasn't even like, it's not even like premarital. This is just regular counseling. I think you
right.
got to
I
have
had
that
a I
shit
had
in
a
every aspect of any type of intimate, serious relationship that you're having with a person, because you have to learn in a moderated fashion how to speak to each other, how to converse, how to communicate with each other. You have to find, because I mean a lot of people still going into relationships all broke up and shit. So you got to find someone that's going to give you the tools so that you and your partner can effectively communicate and talk your way through things, and then talk yourselves back on path. But you got these relationships built with these people that are conversationally shadow or conversationally dominant, you know, and it's just a mess. And I'm sitting on the sideline eating my popcorn because you ain't gonna single shame me out this bitch.
Nobody is single shaming
I won't allow
Antoine.
it. I won't allow it.
I don't think so, because even like I said,
You don't think people
I
single
don't wanna
shame?
cuff. People do.
No. Your damn family is
But I
single
think
shame the shit out you. What you talking about?
older we get, the more I understand why certain people were single, why certain people aren't married, or, those
You know my favorite question?
relationships that we felt they had. Oh, I don't understand why aunt such and such and uncle such and such, they were the best and they're not together no more. I understand these things. I think that when, after 35, maybe 36, 37, you I not everybody, I started to see like, hey, this isn't gonna look the way I thought it was gonna look.
Mm,
Maybe I'll get like I yes, I the concept of marriage I am for, but I also understand that I am okay if I don't get married.
mm,
I'm okay with that.
mm,
I'm okay if I have a life partner and we don't get married. I'm not like if we get married, I would love to, but if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. We just gonna have to sign some legal papers if something happened to you that we got all our stuff situated.
mhm.
Because I saw that happen with my kid's grandmother when her fiance died. They had some stuff on paper, but a lot of stuff didn't go her way because they weren't married.
Mm,
So,
mm.
but yeah, I'm okay with being
When
single.
did you
I'm
get there?
okay if I don't.
Because I want an easy trip.
Orlando. That's when I got there.
You sure you okay with being single, or you just dealing with it better?
Yeah. Nah, I'm
You
good.
sure?
Cause like I said, even having somebody in my space recently, I was just like, nah, I can't. I'm not because I look at this differently now. It didn't feel good like it did before just to have somebody in my space. I was so ready for him to go.
It's so crazy. Like as a male, I've experienced um, the relationship type people. They just jumping, and then they meet me, and I'm like, slow your ass down, right? Because they ready to just hop again. And at this age now, you're not just meeting people who just been in bad relationships. You're meeting people that's been in like bad marriages, right?
Yep.
And so you're just asking them like, well, how you feeling? Are you think you're healed? And you know what I'm saying? Because you'll start to see them exhibit like little shit that they felt was happening to them in their marriage. And so they're overcompensating to make sure it doesn't happen again. And if you've never been to therapy, or if you've never done the work on yourself, you won't see it. But when you do, that shit is like death by a thousand cuts. Be-
No, I have. My therapist told me I was a runner and I didn't get it
You're a
at
runner, you're
first.
a track star.
She told me I was straight. She was like, "You run away." But the issue with me was I would get into these relationships that I knew were not of substance because I knew it was easy for me to get out of them.
Yeah, that was your toxic trait. That was your
Yeah,
toxic trait.
I can admit it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep.
Me on the meanwhile. I keep trying. I keep trying. And guess what? I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, but it's
Oh
okay.
yeah. Nigga, I
That's
I
you.
have been,
As long as you are your best friend, like we said, as long as you are your best
man,
friend, that's all that.
me and the King Darius in here. Listen, seriously though, like it's hard though because you will make rash and impulsive decisions based off of some sick fear of something, right? And when you can stand in whatever that truth is and accept it wholeheartedly, even scream in front of mountaintops and not let nobody shame you about feeling the way you feel. Um, it becomes much easier and it becomes way lighter, right? It's so beautiful to just meet people without expectations and try to just get to know who folks is and just again, like I don't want to I'd rather meet you, understand who you are, and see where you fall in my life than try to like build you into my life and you don't fucking fit. Right? Because it might be parts of you that fit. And then I have to make sure that, what I'm saying, I'm setting proper boundaries to accept the versions of you that I know I can deal with and avoid the versions of you that I can't. Like even like I grew up with shiesty niggas and I just knew like, hey, this is where I leave you. You cool as fuck,
Yeah,
you my nigga, but this is the part where I leave you, right? Because
that's
I
the
know who
place.
you are, right? And I can't be surprised that it's gonna happen to me one day because I know you,
No,
and
that's
I'm not
true.
immune, right? This is who you truly are, and that acceptance, that level of acceptance is not in friendships, it's not in relationships, because most of these shits is transactional right now. Everybody's trying to win something, some mystical win in their mate selection. I won. Look at me.
But I feel like it's more because of what you see on social
What the
media. Like you say, you see
don't get me
these.
going with social media. That's just the devil. The devil.
Cause I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Married at First
Uh,
Sight, and I forgot what season it was, but this one couple, I cried. I watched them.
mhm.
I was like, it can happen. It really can.
Mhm,
Like I
mhm.
was excited. I was excited for
Were
them
you?
because they're
Why?
yeah. And I was like, I was excited for love
Love
because
and
yeah.
R&B.
And I was like, it can happen to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Because I already said if I end up with a pet, that means I'm definitely not trying to be in nobody's relationship.
Pff.
I'm just saying.
What?
I'm just being
What the
real. I'm just being real and I'm just being
what the
honest.
fuck?
But one thing I know we didn't talk about and I put into the notes, and I know you briefly, well, you mentioned it. You didn't talk about it. The attachment style.
Mm.
I'm saying it right, right? It's not a dating style. It's
This is called
attachment style,
attachment
right?
style. And most people don't consider that in their journeys to find themselves. Like, what is your attachment style? Did you look it up? Did you ever take an attachment style
No.
test?
No, I didn't. I didn't know it was the test. Now I'm gonna have to take it, and then like we really gonna have to
Put a pin
discuss.
in it and do yours,
Okay,
right?
I'm scared now.
No, this is it's a liberating find to understand how you are, and it's not necessarily law. Like it's almost like a horoscope, but
Okay,
these are tests. These answers are based off of. I mean, this is determined off the answers that you give. Like one of them
okay,
personality tests. You know what I'm saying? Like I think totally disagree type thing right there, right? But based off of these answers, they talk about like, and like I said, you'll be in a like in a spectrum of like, yeah, this makes sense. I may not agree with this part, but a lot of it for the most part does make sense. Um, so mm, did you see how many different attachment styles there are? You didn't look up anything, did you? I've
I
been telling you
didn't
this shit.
because I couldn't figure. I had it
Mm.
wrong. I was thinking of dating style at first,
Dating
and I couldn't.
style. All right. So there's four types of attachment style. There's secure, and then there is avoidant, anxious, and disorganized. Okay.
I don't know. Do they go in order?
I mean, there's
Like, because I feel like I can name a couple of mine based off of what you just mentioned.
so you have so like there is like a little hierarchy in the sense that like secure like
Okay.
is like the ultimate one where you want to kind of be, and then avoidant which is also known as dismissive or anxious avoidant if you're like a child.
Okay.
And then you have anxious, also known as like preoccupied. And then you have disorganized, which is like fearful avoidant, right?
Okay.
Avoidant, anxious, disorganized, these are all like insecure attachment styles, right?
Okay.
Um, so if you're secure, this is people who have done the work. They're using the tools daily because you're never not triggered, and healing is always an ongoing journey. But you have the tools and you're applying them. You're consciously making an
Okay.
effort to be better than the day before, and you're learning yourself, and you're building healthy boundaries, you're building healthy relationships, and those tend to turn into longer lasting relationships. I mean, we have to stop thinking about the word relationship as it only as to like, you know, man and woman doing the thizzle, right? So then, boom,
Mhm.
you got secure. Um, People with secure attachment style, they're able to like regulate their emotions. They easily trust people. They're effective communicators. They have the ability to seek emotional support. They're comfortable being alone, but also still comfortable in close relationships. They're able to self-reflect in their partnerships with people, easy to connect with. They manage conflict well, high self-esteem, emotionally available. Right?
Okay.
That's manifestations of secure people. Now you have avoidant attachment style, avoidant or dismissive avoidant or anxious avoidant, right? Um, and that's type of looks like people who like they fail to build long term relationships, and it's usually because of their inability to to engage in like physical and emotional intimacy. And before I started going to therapy, that's where I was at.
Okay.
Um, So people who have that type of attachment styles, they might have felt like they was left to fend for themselves. People always probably expected you to be independent. You might have been made to feel bad for depending on folks. You were rejected when you was expressing your needs or emotions.
Yeah, I'm reading this test now.
You're reading
Yeah,
now?
and I see
Okay.
yes, and a lot of this is like, "Oh,
Right.
this
And so when you were
kinda deep."
anxious, avoidant, um, you even though you feel like a strong sense of independent, you're never really comfortable expressing your feelings. You're dismissive. You have a hard time trusting people. People getting close to you, you feel threatened by that. You spend more time alone and interacting with others, but you feel like you don't believe, you don't need others in your life. You have commitment issues. And again, that avoid of emotional and physical intimacy, right? Um, and so that'll keep you in relationships at an arm's length. And that was me. I wouldn't let nobody get close at all. Like arm's length, my ass nigga. They got like 5 walls, 2 moats, 3 bosses, 2 underbosses. Like you had to get to me, buddy. That's,
No,
that armor was
I
thick,
understand.
right? Um, Elder, what's going on? Can you be friends with your ex? Yes, I'm currently friends with one of mine's, and I am so happy of the space that we're in. But that takes the bit.
That takes time.
It takes time. It takes forgiving. It takes grace, and it takes. I like to call it the Truth Commission. You remember, if anybody remember how apartheid ended with the Truth Commission? Everybody got to come to the table, and they have to admit to what they did to self-destruct. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to come in and everybody has to be very honest about the part they played. And then that's when real forgiveness happen, and the ability to move on and grow in y'all new space. I trip of I mean I might get it. There's exes I don't talk to, but that's because there's no willingness for both of us to engage in that healing. But if you can find one that, is just that does, and you can have that conversation, then yeah, you can be friends with your ex. Now, I don't know about your next boo, how she gonna feel about that, but if you're
Yeah.
secure in that and our friendship is genuine, then and that's gonna be a person in your life, then you shouldn't have to hide her. And you shouldn't be with somebody who feels threatened by good people in your life, no matter who they were previously.
I think you can be friends with your ex. I have a couple of exes that I'm friends with where there is nothing outside of that. I have some that want something outside of that, are still trying to hold on and
Hold
hoping.
on.
But I feel like you can, like you said, it's just when that other person comes in, because I know that that may have been an issue with someone I know that their new partner may have had issues with us, and so my ex went MIA and went ghost, but I understood, so I didn't get
I mean,
upset.
some people gonna have to unfortunately choose between good people in their life and the current person in their life. And then sometimes they're gonna get that decision wrong, but they gotta lessons and blessings, you gotta go through it. Because if you're not strong enough to stand and defend your friendship with this person, and if the friendship itself still, if it's inappropriate, then you don't have no legs to defend it anyway. But if it's pure, you shouldn't have no problems defending it.
Mhm.
But I mean, I remember back in school, I got a little boo thing. I had to cut all my homegirls off. And they was mad as shit. And then when the relationship failed, I had to come back head in hand, head in hand.
That'd be the hard
Yo,
part.
all the I'm sorries, free weed. I had to cook for so many people. I had to get back in my good graces because I missed my community, man. I missed my folks that was around me, and just kind of like I allowed her to isolate me. God damn, I was stupid. Moving on. Oh, damn, 20 somethings. Yes, I let her. That was it. I was like,
I got a direct comment saying that this is a good conversation. So, oh, here, hold
oh,
on.
I feel like.
Whoa,
Oh, wait a minute.
I
Whoa,
saw the
whoa, whoa,
one.
check this out. 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 Check this
But
out.
while I'm
Check this out.
taking
Check
this
this out.
test, you
Check this out.
could.
Yo, you ever is this chick on IG and she reads like these crazy comments that people ask like advice on, and she uses like one of them like sound mics and shit. I feel like I wish I could I wish I could tap
I'm
into
not
my. I'm not.
laughing.
I didn't even read the question. I just
I
saw
didn't
the
even
three
read it, but
letters.
I
I
seen the
just see
one
the one
thing.
thing. Like, yo. All right. eh, eh, oh. Is it is it a treatable one? That's what I would want to know right now. I need some more context. Is it treatable? Because it's oh, okay. So um and well, we have a problem with accountability here. Definitely. Um and yeah, her private life then interfered with y'all's personal life, and if you're paying attention and she, she can be dishonest about this, then what else has she been dishonest about? I mean, I hate to be like negative,
Yeah.
but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it, it, we, yo, what was it? Why did I get married? And she was like, yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, who you been with, Keisha? He's like, yeah. He was like, no, Keisha didn't give it to you. I gave it to you because Walter gave it to
No,
me.
she said the man,
Oh,
Walter. No, she said
Walter
Walter
gave
gave
it
it
to
to you,
you,
and he looked,
right?
who's
Who the fuck is
Walter?
Walter?
Because Walter gave
Walter
it to
gave it to
me.
me. Yeah,
And I was just saying how long you was gonna go without
I
saying
got
that.
my shot. Yo, he almost strangled her at the table. So you have to give that situation the same energy you would get if it was you that brought that into the house. Because she didn't think about you, she didn't think about your health. She brought that in. All right, here's some wild shit. I told you we were gonna go deep this season. I told you that the only way
We gonna go deep,
I
and
told you
I just want you to know
told you the
after
only way
this
this
is
shit
my
works
test.
is if you honest.
If
To be
we
honest.
are
All right.
real and honest, okay?
So my situation was the other STD. It was babies. And what?
I looked up when you said babies, and then somebody put a post up, so then I did a double look, but I'm
Okay.
listening.
We'll get to that comment because it's long.
Yeah, you
So
talking? Yeah.
it's, somebody that I was in a situation with that I never, like I'm 45 years old. I ain't never had no pregnancy scares. I got a clean bill of health. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about the pull-out game. My mom been dropping condoms off on me half my life. So and my promise my grandma I make no babies out of wedlock. So, I've been going through all of the emotions of making sure that never really happens, right? So when I got a call saying I'm pregnant, I ain't sweat no bullets. I'm like, what was it? That's Jesus? That's Jesus, right? you ain't got none of this DNA, baby. I promise you. Right? And they were gonna be content with making me believe that it was mine. But I knew something was afoot. So I just kept pushing and kind of find out that, and this has happened before, like in the time that me and this person been kind of dealing with it, but they always go off and try to find a relationship and it never pans out. The first time they did it, they ended up with a baby and a deadbeat daddy. The second time they went about it, it was massive heartbreak. And now here it is in his third time. And she was trying to see this guy, and they got into some drunken argument sex, and he busted her and didn't tell her. And so she show up pregnant, and she trying to say it's me. I'm like, sweetheart, that TNA don't get this DNA. You know what I'm saying? Let me quote the great poet O'Shea Jackson. Skeet, skeet, skeet. No, that's the other man. Cause my skeet never leaks out this rubber man. Insane. So, you can get the test now before the baby comes.
Yeah, I know.
Boom, boom. 2 tests come in, 1 come back positive. Guess who it wasn't? This
You.
motherfucker right here. But she wasn't gonna
Look, I
tell
remember
me.
this, but didn't
She
know the
wasn't gonna
whole
even tell
story.
me. And then she had a nerve to admit to me in a drunken, toxic rage how she wished it was just mine. The fuck?
Lord. I was gonna say, what if it was a false positive? Because that's what I
Oh
had,
no, she
a
went to the
false positive.
doctors. I seen the joint. She was pregnant. It just won't me.
And I remember that was with old head, and he did a whole laugh like,
Nah,
you
dummy.
it
Dummy.
ain't,
You big
I
dummy.
can't get you
Okay.
pregnant.
That's why the factory about to get shut off, baby. 100% covered by insurance. Snip, snip into 2024.
We talked about
Because I
this.
ain't having no kids. Ain't be no old ass parent. I'm about to be at a point where.
For me, I feel I'm anxious about it.
Why would you want to do it again?
Not me,
Why?
you. It's
What the fuck?
it's gonna be.
Anyway, moving on. So let's read this comment.
I took my test.
Why?
But did you want to read the
Yeah, I
comment
would do
first, or
this.
you want
Why
to
I wonder
go?
why
Okay.
men pull out all the stops, roll out all the red carpets just for the sake of getting on. I feel like most men don't realize that some of us women be on the same page and just want to get on. I mean, you ain't gotta lie, Craig. Just say that's just you want in the beginning, and you'll be surprised how many women respect that more so than you putting up smoke and mirrors just to get coochie. Bliss, you are what we call a unicorn. And for every person that exists in your world that believes that, there's 20 motherfuckers a man meet that don't believe that. And then there's 10 of them that lie and say they do and they don't. So by the time they get to you and you do believe that, they so used to lying that that's all you're going to get. Period. Um but
I
you
was
can
gonna say that
you can you can, if you truly feel that way and you truly feel that way in that moment, you can crush all of that bullshit and the need to lie if you come out and say, listen, I don't really want none but just to get on for a little while. You cool with that? See that?
but a lot of guys aren't cool
No, they
with that
not.
though.
But if they not cool with that, then you just leave. You just say, all right, this ain't gonna work. See, like don't compound his lies with your lies, right? Like put if you feel like a nigga's only issue is just to get on and that's what you want, put him on the spot about it.
But that's the thing. Like we kind of talked about this the last time, but I'm not getting into it. Like when some men, not all, they say, this is what I want, this is what it
Yeah.
is. I'm not trying to have nothing serious. And then when we give them what they want, then it's all of a sudden, oh, I want something serious. No, you can't. When you started, and I'm good for that. Whatever you tell me it is in the beginning, I'm going to stick with that. But if we talk about something else, I don't push when somebody says that I'm only looking to date, because that's what I'm gonna only do is date
Natasha,
you.
we just spent a
Yes.
whole hour talking about a guy telling you.
He didn't tell me
I
that
mean, but he
though.
told you enough. And
No, he
listen, we
did.
all change our mind. We're fucking humans, right? We all feel, we all start seeing fucking rainbow clovers and unicorns and shit, and you just be like, oh, magical. The problem is we don't have conversations when shit switch up. Nobody's talking when the shit switch up.
And that's what it was, because what I thought that we were trying to make something work between us, that we were that's what we said.
Bliss, if all of that is happening,
But I know that's what it
Bliss, if
wasn't.
all of that is happening, why hold on to it? Let it go. If somebody, if you say you did all of that and they can't handle it and they go on silent, then just delete. Just cut it off. Like I'm at the age now where like I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm gonna say okay,
Oh yeah.
okay. How do you counsel a person who's been through this situation and still stayed in a marriage? You can't, because they're staying in the marriage because they're broken and they need real counseling.
I was gonna say that, and when I was taking the test, I was gonna ask that, and I'm so happy you asked that, Elder Leroy Banks.
Junior, don't forget the junior.
Uh Junior, you can see he can sing his butt off too. We grew up together. But I was going to ask that, especially knowing him, knowing that you are a pastor, like knowing that you made this commitment to God, and do, like, knowing that that situation may have happened. Some people stay because of, yes, they may be broken, but so many people are so stuck on that. I made this commitment, I did my vows. Like, do your vows go out the
if
door,
the if the if the ma-
or is it from
if the
sickness?
head of the
Sick.
church is pushing more prayer away than actual getting real help, and that's part of the problem. Because if they're leaning on the church and the person in charge of that church is saying, listen, I love you two souls and I want to save y'all, but y'all need something more than I can offer you,
Hmm.
right? You can you can you can set up the therapies at the church. You can use some of that good money going through them trades to help them pay for it if they can't afford it. That's the most you can do. But those two people got to walk through that journey with a professional, because praying it away ain't gonna help,
It's
and
not gonna.
counseling them, if you ain't built and knowledgeable enough to counsel them and give them the tools to save their marriage. Like this, we are at the point now, like we can't just believe that God gonna save all of us, because He not. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. We got to save ourselves first.
We do, and we have to be in those healthy spaces. No, we're not therapists, but I like being unhealthy and being in these spaces, and you got these trauma bonds. That's something that we're going to talk
Trauma
about this
bonds,
season.
baby.
Yeah, we're definitely going to. I feel like that should be alive. Like that should definitely be alive. You know, we had these relationships, or like you said, I got into something and assumed that it was going to be something else. Or like Bliss, I don't know if I could call you by your real name. Like she was saying, you know, I'm saying this is what it is, but things change. We don't like you said, we don't communicate when those things
Nope.
change. And
We don't communicate anyway.
sometimes,
We don't communicate in the
yeah,
beginning.
we
You don't
don't.
communicate really in the beginning. I get you, Bliss. You want communication. But if you're not getting it, don't stick around for waiting on it. Just be out. Like as soon as you realize you're not getting what you need, like be out. We so scared to just be out. Nah, I ain't
Yeah,
doing that shit. Like if you ain't got it, all right, homie. Peace be on to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't try to make me feel bad for leaving because I'm protecting my peace. You can go play in traffic with that shit. It
yeah,
blew me because in my mind I wanted to say you ain't in jail, but the natural person would probably be in jail. True. True. People have been murdered in their homes for less. But you might want to put those two people in touch with a real professional.
yeah,
You know, as a pastor of the church, you can detect if that's a marriage worth saving, but you should put them in the hands of somebody that can really walk them through that, because she's dealing with accountability issues. He's dealing with some weird attachment issue, and before they end up on the 8 o'clock news, for real.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't burn me.
yeah. That's
Sleep
a
with one eye open, baby. God damn.
yeah.
I'm sorry. You better sleep with your eye open, goddamn it.
Some hot grits. What is that? Hot
I
grits.
wouldn't even waste my grits on you. Okay. You'd wake up in a plastic bag at the bottom of a quarry. I just sorry. Just
Lord. All right. So I took my test.
all
I took
right.
my
What we got?
It's disorganized slash fearful and avoidant.
Damn, still you got work to do. You got work
Well,
to
it was based off of the
do.
questions.
And you answered them correct,
It
honestly, right?
but it was I knew when it came to my parents, because that was the same thing that my when I did go through my therapist, like I favored my dad more than I favored my mom.
But you know why? The biggest reason for disorganized is childhood trauma, right?
Yeah.
And I say this all the time, right? And people, you've probably heard this before: heal the child, save the girl, right?
Yeah, the inner so I'm okay. So right before I graduated, my last psychology class I had to take, because my major is sociology. So the last psychology class I had to take was mindful thinking. And remember when I said Florida is what did it, but my mindful thinking class is actually what was the moment, because I had to face that inner child in that actual class, because I thought the mindful thinking class was a class where we just learned different type of meditation styles, when it was no, we had to actually practice and answer these questions when doing this or when going here. And it talked about that, that inner child, and where we get stuck when our anxiety hits is because of that inner child.
Signs of a disorganized attachment style. are fear of rejection, inability to regulate emotions, contradictory behaviors, high levels of anxiety,
And we already know mine is I have
difficulty trusting
uh
others, and
uncontrollable
and
hypertension.
you're still showing signs of the previous two.
What was the
Avoidant and anxious.
yeah, well we talked about me being anxious. I'm
Yeah.
very anxious. Like very.
So anxious.
I walk around like I have
It's
very high anxiety.
11:30.
But that's what I said in that Me, Myself, and I that actual episode that I hadn't had panic attacks in over 5 years. So when I had two panic attacks back to back, it was what's the issue? That's when I had to take a step back and see what am I doing to bring on something that I haven't dealt with in years.
Mm.
What is it? And then it went back to childhood, the situation where that fake Florida trip that happened that I thought I was going to Orlando this year. And the person lied to me. And I hope you are listening on Facebook or on IG because this will be, I hope you listen to this whole episode because we are friends. And I was holding on to pieces of my childhood that I didn't want to let go because I felt like those, yes, packed and everything, and you on a whole cruise. Anyways, um, I was trying to hold on to my childhood. Yes, I still write. I don't journal.
Mm.
I still write though.
So, okay. And this is the guy you still kind of holding on to, ain't you?
No, that was the person I knew I had to let go,
Okay.
and that was
You're
the
you're
hardest thing.
holding on to that other animal.
We're
I
not
call
talking about that right now.
it.
Look, this is not. Listen, we are
Are
not
you
talking.
willing to do the work to get to secure?
Yeah,
Because that tells me you got a lot of work to do
because of the other person.
because of you, just you. Don't
Oh,
matter about the other person. I'm talking about
oh,
your attachment style.
oh yeah, I know. I'm
Okay,
willing, but that's why I said I'm working on me.
good. And you know what you got to do when you're working on you?
What?
Leave everybody else the fuck alone.
And that's why I'm fine with being by myself in these spaces right now. And ain't nobody
Boom,
talking with me. Shoot.
boom. But don't mean you be out here spinning the block for comfort.
I ain't spending the block. I tried to do that, and that's how I landed me that fake trip. Let me tell you, hold on, we got time. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it.
You got 12 minutes.
I never talked to anybody about this. So it was a me and my cousin. I was out in Jacksonville. I had way too many mimosas, and I slid into somebody's DM. I hadn't talked to that person in over 3 years, and it was literally
Hey,
I
big
slowed
man.
down 3 years to get to them, and I was like, "Hey." So we started talking again. I thought everything was cool between us. He was like he was going to work on showing me that he really wanted to be with me and he hate what happened between us happened and he was going to show and prove that he wanted to. And I said, "You know what? I'm not coming to you. I'm going to show you." I had one point where I was able to see him and I went out and seen him. It wasn't me going, it was a free trip and I was able to see him. But
Mhm.
before I seen him, he invited me to go on a trip. He said his friend was having a birthday party, they were bringing their girls, whatever.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
hold on, just let me finish.
I
And
want you to tell them where you really went.
I was gonna be his plus one. I said, all right, just give me the dates. And he gave me the dates. I was like, all right, I'll take off. And he was like, wait. I was like, no, I can still put the time in because it's for December. You know, at work, December is a hard time to get dates. So I was like, I can always cancel my PTO. Put the PTO in. So my thing was, am I taking a flight to Orlando or am I taking a flight out of like I need to know am I going to Orlando or not? So he was like, yeah, we're still going, whatever, da da da. And then literally, I already Literally right before I was about to do my flight, he sends me a message and was like, sent screenshots and everything. I feel like they all put this together because even when I looked at the screenshots, I was like, this looks like y'all set this up. The dudes. It was, hey, the flight leaves at whatever. We're going to be at the airport because they're all leaving from the same city. I'm the only person that's not leaving from the same city. Hey, and we'll get to the strip about 9:30. So I was like, okay, cool. He was like, no, they're going to Vegas. So I was like, okay. So I tried to call him. He didn't answer. The one thing he forgot is that he was sharing his location with me. We had been sharing each other's locations for like 2 weeks.
Why do y'all be doing this dumbass shit like that?
I did it because when I was in his area,
Drop a pin and share your location.
I just I
Y'all
couldn't
niggas
tell
want to
him
be
where I
found.
was at.
Y'all
So
niggas want to be found.
look, I shared it with him. He didn't have to share his with me. And you know that with an iPhone, you don't have to. But
I
he
mean, but
decided,
like, what was
or you
the
can
original
share
cause of sharing locations?
because I was in his
You know,
city.
it's two options for that though.
You can share it for 30 minutes, or you share it for whatever for the day. I just shared it completely because I wasn't sure if I was going to see him that day or the next day.
Okay.
So then when he shared his location, I was like, oh, so and it didn't turn off. That's why I was like, okay, we sharing locations then.
It didn't turn off.
No, he shared it indefinitely instead of doing it for one day.
Oh wow.
He it's three choices. We all know. So when you hit indefinite, you hit indefinite. So
Okay.
he forgot that he was sharing his location. So I saw he was at the airport and I was like, okay, I guess they're going to Vegas. Then I'm talking to my friends, whatever, da da da. One of them is on here. I don't know if the other one is on here. And it shows Orlando. And I'm like, oh, well, let me call him because are we going to Orlando or not? Didn't answer, whatever, da da da. I seen Port Canaveral. I said, oh, you on a cruise. So I sent a nice message and said, well, it looks like you won't be going to Vegas. That looks like you will not be going to Vegas, something da da da, because from what I see, you're not there. And I took a screenshot because now with iPhones, under their name, it shows the location. So I sent him a screenshot and probably 30 minutes later he stopped sharing his location.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hold
But
on.
I was holding
Hold
on
on.
to that.
Hold
Yes.
on. I wonder if you can even hear this. Yo, one more time for my people in the GD section.
Yes. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
And so when that was over, that's when I knew I couldn't continue to hold on to the people I grew up with, even though it gave me a sense of my parents. Because if people who don't know, my mom passed away when I was 16. My stepfather passed away when I was 13. So holding on to certain people, it just gave me a sense of having conversations about my parents because he knew both my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that revisiting my happy space, so to say.
Mm.
And that's why I held on to it.
That was your trauma bond.
Yeah, that was my trauma bond. That definitely was. All right. Yeah, we hit 2 hours. This was good.
Man.
I'm gonna have to split it on
You
a
always gotta split it.
yeah. Yeah. But it's live everywhere else. But I want to thank you guys so much for interacting. We miss you guys. We had a lot of people show up on and asking questions, so we definitely will do a live again. I'll let you guys know now that you know who the person everybody has been asking about is here. Good old Twan.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Happy New Year,
Welcome
brother that's on
back.
Instagram. But yeah, thank you guys. Instagram, we cannot do the lives on there. Like y'all gonna have to subscribe to our YouTube page. Please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Yeah. It's man, that felt good. It's been a
It
while.
is.
Yeah. I mean, these conversations are necessary, right? And it's crazy when we was talking about, getting back in the mix. And I was telling you, like, yo, we did that. It was a couple years ago. And since then, like the podcast space
Changed.
has changed in the sense that like everybody's got a relationship pod. And
But I
I
feel like this is different.
and that's what but that's what I wanted to hear it from you because I was like, I didn't want to be in that same material. I'm definitely no expert, but if we can make it transparent and personal, we speak from just our experiences and just kind of just talk about what we learn, that's what I'm saying, lessons and blessings, right?
Yep.
Um, then it's just a better dialogue than someone giving their unabashed opinion about the
Yep.
state of who pissing and shitting in the dating pool. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to see everybody and feel like there's still people that want to hear what we got to say.
Yeah.
And we promise to be real. We promise to be truthful. We'll try to make it enjoyable. And we're gonna work on Tosh over here.
I am. I feel like this is my therapy. This does. I do see a therapist, but I do feel like this does open up a lot because even with therapy, they don't really talk about like it's sometimes I want to talk about more and the focus is what she wants to focus on sometimes. So, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's time for a new therapist.
I think so too.
It's okay to switch them out. There's no loyalty in that. They get paid.
I know, and I have to, and you know what? We're gonna talk about that in another episode because I was talking about obligations. I always felt like in certain spaces that I was obligated, like Orlando, I felt like I was obligated to stay. Like the last guy, I felt like I was obligated to stay, and it's not an obligation. It's okay for me to leave, and I understand that now. So, Twan, how can we find you? Don't do it. How can we find you,
You
Twan?
can see it on the bottom right there where it says bang. My shit is pure comedy on IG.
And guys, make sure you are following me at Natasha Renee _ the creator. Make sure you are following the podcast page on Instagram, Disaster Data 101 Podcast. Also, make sure you are following our YouTube. Everybody that is on Instagram, please make sure you are following the YouTube. The YouTube channel is on my link on both pages. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I want to thank you guys for coming through on the last minute because this was on an impromptu live, literally. So thank you guys so much. We thank you. We miss you guys, and you will be seeing us again.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong hand.
That was terrible.